So today, I want to tell you guys my coming out story. Cheers. I guess my story kind of has two phases to it. One, because I was outed my sophomore year in college, and then two, when I came out in the summer of 2016. I guess back in like fifth or sixth grade, I can always recall having a crush on the guys in my class. Um, there was one guy in particular who, like, if we were going out to recess and playing kickball, I'd always want to be on his team. Or if we were doing like a group project, I'd want to be in his group, or I'd want to sit next to him in class. And I never really recall feeling that way about any of the girls in my class. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand that it meant I was attracted to him. I just thought, like, girls had cooties, so of course I'm gonna like this guy better. And then fast forward to high school, told myself in high school that it was just a phase and that I would grow out of it and I would eventually become attracted to girls, and that never happened. But I was not okay with being gay. I wasn't really accepting of myself in high school, and so I stayed in the closet all through high school. And then in college, I decided that I wanted to explore some other avenues and try to be myself a little more, and that's what I did. Then my sophomore year, I was on Grindr, and my freshman year roommate, Mike, his friend saw me on there and texted Mike and was like, "Hey, Randy's on Grindr, he's gay, just wanted to let you know." And Mike texted all of my friends from high school, he texted all my friends in college, and was like telling them that I was on Grindr and that I was gay. And I worked really hard to kind of backtrack that, and I was able to get back into the closet after a couple of weeks and stayed in there until the summer of 2016. At that point, I had really started to want to come out. I was exhausted from lying. It had really taken a toll on like my mental and physical health at that point. I just was not happy with where I was. And I remember one night I had a dream that I had asked this guy out on a date, and I told all my friends I'd asked him out, and they were all cool with it. They were like, "Oh, that's great, hope it goes well, like, let us know." And I woke up that next morning and I sat in my bed for like 2 hours, just kind of pondering the dream, thinking about it, and it really had an effect on me. And a couple days later, I decided that it was time for me to come out. I needed to do it, and so I texted my mom, and I told her I needed to talk to her. And of course, because she's a mom, she thought I was dying, or that, I had just killed somebody, and was freaking out. And I was like, "No, everything's fine. I promise everything's fine. I'm just going to come over today. I need to talk to you." So I took the train to her house, and she picked me up at the train station. And as soon as I got in the car, she's like, "What's wrong?" It's like, "Nothing is wrong. I just want to talk to you later, but not right now." And she's like, "Fine." So we get to her house, and a couple hours later, we're sitting out on her porch, and my heart was racing because I knew then that at that moment I was going to tell her. And I started crying, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I told her, "I'm not straight." And she's like, "Okay, I still love you. You're still my son, and I'm very proud to be your mom." And her reaction was perfect. I mean, at that point, that's really all I needed to hear. And we talked for a few hours, drank some wine, and yeah, just kind of chatted. And I decided that I wanted to continue coming out and do so fairly quickly because I didn't want to drag it out. It's a fairly stressful process, and I figured the quickest I could get it over, the fastest, kind of like ripping a Band-Aid off. So I texted one of my friends in law school a couple days later, told him I needed to talk to him. He's like, okay, just come over, we'll have a drink that night and talk. So I went over, again, had some wine, and I eventually told him that I was gay, and he's like, great, let's go get some dinner. It's like, you did hear what I said, right? And he's like, yeah, you're into dudes. Can we go eat now? I was like, yeah, that's great. And so we did. We went and ate and talked about it, and his reaction was perfect too. And at that point, I decided to go tell my dad. And I was so nervous to tell my dad. I don't know why. He's never given me reason to think he wouldn't be okay with it, but I was just freaking out to tell him. And I texted him the same thing I had texted my mom. I was like, I need to talk to you about something. Everything's fine. But, let's get together tomorrow. And he said, okay. And I got to his house, and before I even rang the doorbell, I had tears in my eyes. And his girlfriend opens the door, and she's like, oh my gosh, Randy, what's wrong? It's like, everything's okay. Like, I just need to talk to you guys. So I sit at their counter, and I'm just silent for like a minute. And finally, I took a deep breath, counted to 3, and I just told them, I'm gay. And, they hugged me, said they loved me, and that, they accepted me for who I am, and that they were glad that I was able to tell them. And that was great. And really, that was everybody's reaction. I had no negative, responses from people. None of my friends said anything negative towards me, nothing. And it was great. And I'm so happy I did it. The only thing I do regret is that I couldn't do it sooner. But I wasn't ready at the time, and I've gotten to a point where I'm okay with it, and it is what it is. So that's kind of my coming out story. When I was first trying to come out, the couple weeks before I told my mom, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and they were extremely helpful for me to hear other people's stories and what they did and their family and friends' response, so I kind of wanted to do the same. And if it helps even one person, then great. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to get back to them. Other than that, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.